guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing a mental health Q&A. There is some other questions as well. This is not just mental health, so there will be other questions that are mental health related. Most of you will know me from my Instagram recovery account. If you don't already follow it or don't know what the user is, I'll put it in the description so you guys can have a look if you want. But for anyone that doesn't know me, I have a recovery account on Instagram that I started I think in April or March, so I haven't had it for long. But yeah, I've been thinking of making a YouTube channel for a while and wasn't really sure, but I mentioned it a couple of times on my Instagram, and every time I've mentioned it, a lot of people seem like quite up for it, so that's why we're here. So I've got my iPad which has the questions on it from my Instagram, because I'm recording on my phone because I don't own a camera. But you know, if the channel does well and stuff, then I'll 100% get a camera. But yeah, so I'm sitting in my garden because why not? It's nice weather, might as well. Anyway, I feel like we should just jump straight in because not really much else to say. But anyway, so the first question is how to get out of I need to be worse mindset. Okay, personally, also we're going to ignore the angle because I'm sitting on the floor and my phone's on a chair. Currently leaning on my iPad. I'm trying to there we go as well. Bloody hell. Anyway, so yeah, personally I've struggled with that. It's something I still struggle with quite a lot, really. Like, I still get the thoughts and stuff. Personally, I think with mental health, like with mental illness, you get that mindset, you get stuck in that mindset where you're like, you know, I need to get worse before I can get better, like I'm not like sick enough, sort of thing. Just thought I'd explain that for, you know, anyone that doesn't understand that question. But for me personally, the more you sit around just thinking about that, the more it's gonna like affect you, you know what I mean, and the more you're gonna like give in to that thought. So I tend to try and do things to distract myself. I don't, like, sometimes I'll just be laying in bed and like just staring at the ceiling like with that thought. So what I do is I normally put on a show and try and distract myself with a Netflix show or YouTube, or like colouring, or I'll go out for a walk or something. I feel like you kind of need to, you can't sit there and just keep thinking about it. You need to like go and distract yourself and try and think of something else. That's what I've done anyway. That's what works for me. Obviously, I'm not saying, you know, what works for me is going to work for you. That's just from my personal experience. Okay, so for the second question, we've got, what is one tip to anyone struggling with their mental health? I would say don't let it get too bad before you reach out, because personally for me, when I feel myself like slipping back into that dark place again, I won't reach out for help. Like, I won't tell anyone. Like, I'll keep it in and I'll try and deal with it by myself, because, you know, I think this is for a thing for a lot of people. We think that we can handle it on our own and we think we can do it ourselves because we don't want to burden other people. And for me as well, I also sometimes think, oh, you know, I'm not like sick enough to reach out for support, you know, like it's not bad enough yet. So I'm one of them people. I will sit there and I'll let it get worse before I reach out for support, or before I speak to anyone. And sometimes I don't, like, even when it gets really bad, I don't try and speak to anyone about it. And I think the worst thing you can do is try and handle it on your own. So I definitely say, like, reach out to someone. Like, it can be anyone, a teacher, family member, friends. And there's a lot of helplines as well that you can call. And for anyone that doesn't like calling numbers and speaking to people, because I used to struggle with that quite a lot, I still sometimes do because of my social anxiety, but for anyone that, you know, can't call them, there is numbers that you can message, but I will, if I remember, I will put some helpline numbers in the description, and I'll obviously include the ones that you can message. But also, don't ever let it get to, like, never think I'm not sick enough to reach out for support, because you're never gonna feel sick enough to reach out for support. Like, that's just the thing with mental illness. Like, you'll be at your lowest and you still will feel like you're not bad enough, like it's not bad enough to like speak to someone or reach out for support. And yeah, I just think the moment that you feel yourself slipping, speak to someone, because that's what I wish someone told me to do. So I have a question on here that says, what is BPD like and how does it make you feel? I'm not going to answer that in this question. I'm not going to answer that question in this video, just because it's such a huge topic that it's like too much for this video, if that makes sense. So I will 100% make a separate video on that, just about that topic, because I feel like with BPD it's such a huge thing that I'm not going to be able to get everything into this video. So I will 100% make a separate video on that. So we got a question that isn't mental health related. What's your dream job? Also love your content. Thank you. And my dream job, do you know what? I've always been one of them people that's like never really known what I want to do. Like, that's something I've always struggled with. I'm actually in my 3rd year of college right now. So for my first year, I done animal care because I've always loved animals. But I struggled with that quite a lot. I found the work quite hard, and I was kind of like, I can't really like picture myself doing this for the rest of my life. So I then changed to hairdressing, because growing up I had a thing with dyeing and cutting my hair myself. Like, I just loved it, and I kind of thought maybe I'll give this a go and see if I like this. And I couldn't do it because of my social anxiety. I really struggle with speaking to people that I don't know, and I feel like the thing is with hairdressing, when you have a client, you kind of have to make conversation, and I'm not really great at that either. I'm not really great at making conversation, I'm not gonna lie. Can that plane please go away? Let me come back when that's gone. Okay, that's better. So hairdressing was last year, and then I was pretty much at a point where I was like, I'm gonna drop out of college. I can't do college anymore, like, because as well it was really like impacting my mental health. And then I finally got my EHCP after years of trying to get one, and my mum was like, I found this college, you need an EHCP to go, which is fine because you've just got yours. And she was like, I think you should at least give it a go, and if you don't like it, it's fine, you can drop out, go get a job, but at least like give it a try. So I did, and I'm currently at that college. I'm still in my uniform from college. I started it in September and I actually love it. I'm on a cooking course, which I can't picture myself doing that for the rest of my life, but cooking is like a basic life skill. Like, you know, it's like the reason I'm still doing it and the reason that I'm going to go into level 2 is because obviously it teaches you how to cook at home and stuff. So yeah, that's why I'm going to continue with that. But I'm kind of at a point now where I'm thinking that I want to do something to do with mental health, and I don't know if like I'm gonna 100% go into doing something with mental health. I don't know if that just made any sense because I can't remember what I just said. But I don't really know like what specifically I want to do. Maybe like counselling or something, I don't know. But I'm kind of also thinking like I don't really want to go to uni, because I feel like you may have to go to uni with something like that. I'm pretty sure you have to. But yeah, we will see. Okay, so next question is favourite Billie Eilish song. Mine is TV. TV is a good one, and it's very relatable. I relate to it a lot. But my favourite song, I've always had a favourite song from Billie Eilish, and it's always been the same, and it's Everything I Wanted. For anyone that doesn't know, it's a song about suicide, and I've always related to it. So it's another bloody plane. Enjoy your holiday. I forgot what I was going to say, I can't remember. My brain has just gone blank. Yeah, so I've always loved Everything I Wanted. When I was 15, which is kind of when my mental health was really bad. I say kind of, it was really bad. I used to listen to that song on repeat, like literally on loop. Like the song would finish and then it would start playing again, and it just kept going like that. Like it was so bad. Don't do that if you're going through things, because it's not good for you, especially with like a really sad song like that. But yeah, I don't know why I did that. I don't know, it's just something I did. So next question is, what was the hardest thing you went through as a child? Oh, where do I even start? So I don't want to go into too much detail, just because it's a bit personal, and it's not really, I do speak about it online, but I don't go into much detail. But there was a lot of physical and mental abuse in my house growing up, not from my mum, with my dad. I have to kind of be careful what I say, because like someone from my family could be watching this, so I don't really want to, like, that's another reason why I can't really say much. But yeah, my dad was very abusive growing up. It was mainly towards my mum, but there would be moments where it was also towards us kids. So yeah, but yeah, I'm not gonna go into detail with that. But yeah, I think another plane, really. And I think that's where, like, well, I know that's where my BPD comes from, because obviously it's like a trauma-based thing, like it comes from trauma. So yeah, I experienced a lot of childhood trauma and more trauma in my teenage years. Yeah, I can't remember what I was gonna say. My brain's doing that thing again, like it buffers. Like I'll know what I'm saying for a minute, and then it would just completely go, and then I'm like, I just sat here in silence, and I'll stare into space and try and remember what I was gonna say, but it never comes back. But yeah, it's definitely something that I still struggle with to this day. Obviously trauma doesn't just go away, like it's something that I think will always be there, but you just kind of have to like learn how to cope with it. I actually don't see my dad anymore. He moved out when I was like 10, I think, around that age, and we haven't really had a great relationship since then. Let's just say he's narcissistic. I'm not going to go into any more detail than that, but I'm currently going through a thing right now where I'm trying to contact him and he just doesn't want to know. So, yeah. Okay, so the next question is, what was the hardest part of recovery for you? And I think that was kind of admitting that I had a problem, an addiction to self-harm. Yeah, the hardest part was 100% admitting to myself that, you know, it's a problem, and that I need to reach out for support and stop, basically. It's also quite hard as well posting like recovery content online. I'm not saying it always is, but it can be, like, because sometimes I'll be having a really horrible day and then I'll post something positive, and then I'm kind of like, but that's not really how I feel. But then I don't want to post something that's like, I don't know, I don't really want to share what I'm going through in that moment online. Like, I kind of wait until it's over before I share it. But I think with recovery accounts, on Instagram or TikTok, whatever platform, you kind of feel pressured to always post positive stuff and kind of feel pressured to show that you're in a good headspace, and you feel pressured to be in a good headspace when you're posting, which, you know, it's not realistic, because with recovery there's gonna be, you know, blips and relapses and stuff. So I think, yeah, that's quite hard as well. But I think the hardest part was definitely admitting that I had a problem, and that I needed to reach out for support and start trying to actually get over it, rather than stay in that same cycle, if that makes sense. Okay, so next question is fave Billie Eilish song plus hair colour. So I answered the question earlier, my favourite song, Everything I Wanted. And my favourite hair colour that she had was, I'm guessing that's what you mean, my favourite hair colour that she had, was definitely the green and black, because my favourite colour is green, and I love green. And I just think it really suited her. I think a lot of people as well, when they think of Billie Eilish, they think of the green and black. But yeah, I absolutely loved that hair phase. Oh, I can't speak. Okay, so I'm gonna answer 2 more questions, just because I don't want to like make this into a really long video, and I'm trying to have this video out by Sunday, because I promised on Instagram that it'll be out by the end of this week, and obviously I've got editing and stuff to do if I do decide to edit this video. Yeah, I'm not really educated in the whole editing part of YouTube, but we're gonna give it a go. So the next question is, hold on, my Wi-Fi's being gay. So the next question is, how did you become more confident with showing your scars? And I'm not gonna lie, it's still something that I struggle with. I still struggle with like going out and having my scars out and stuff. Like, it's not really, I don't know, like I struggle with it, but I still have them out, sort of thing. Like, I kind of push myself. I think the biggest thing for me is like the looks you get from people and the questions. Sometimes like I'm not prepared for it. And the other day I was shopping in town before I went to church on Sunday, and I'm at the till, right, with my friend, and this woman's like, oh no, what happened to your arm? And I'm like, just stood there, like, just went silent and kind of stared at her, because it kind of like, I wasn't expecting it, you know what I mean? So it kind of like threw me off. Like, I don't know, I didn't really know what to say. I just felt really awkward. But a thing I do normally say is I went on a date with Edward Scissorhands, if anyone does ask, because I think sometimes people kind of, they ask what happened, but they know what happened. But I feel like some people just ask because they feel the need to point it out, and I don't know why that is. I don't know why people do that, and it really bugs me. But if I can tell that someone actually knows how I got it, then I just give them a silly answer. Like, if you're going to ask me a silly question just to be horrible, then I'm going to give you a silly answer. But yeah, I think if you still struggle with showing your scars and having your scars out, I would say the only thing you can really do is just push yourself. Like, you can't wave a magic wand and, you know, the fear's gone. It's always going to be there. It always has been for me anyway. I think I don't know, for me it's always been a thing that's kind of lingered. It's never really gone. But I think one day I will get to a point where I don't really care anymore, which I actually don't care most of the time. It's just like, sometimes I'll go out and I'll have my scars out and I won't even think about, sorry, I don't know why the video cut out. What was I even saying? Yeah, so sometimes I'll go out and I won't even think about it once. Like, I just feel like a normal person, because I am a normal person, partly. That's not what I mean. Sometimes, you know, I just forget that I have them. I forget they're there. And then, where am I going with this? What was the point I was trying to make? Yeah, sometimes I won't even think about it, and until you get that one look from someone, and then you kind of think, why are they looking at me like that? And then you're like, oh yeah, like you suddenly remember. That's what I get most of the time. Like most of the time I don't think about it. But yeah, I think it's the way that people react is kind of what puts the fear there in the first place, and it's horrible. I hate it. I hate the questions. I hate when people give you that look. But yeah. Anyway, I know I said I was going to do 2 more questions, but I feel like I should kind of end this here now, because I think this video is going to be like 20 minutes or longer. I don't know. So yeah, I'm going to end it here, and buffer a moment again. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I don't know where my next post is going to be, but I'm going to try and be consistent with YouTube. I just need to think of more post ideas, because I'm kind of like, you know, at that point where I don't really know what to post, and I'm sort of getting to the same point with my Instagram as well. I'm like, I need ideas. But if anyone has any video ideas or anything you'd like to see, then definitely comment and I'll consider it. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay safe.